In today's video, I'm going to be sharing 7 unique side hustles that you can start today and be well on your way to earning an extra £1,000 to £2,000 every single month. These are not the typical side hustles that you will see in other YouTube videos, and I have personally done most of these unique side hustles myself. So if that is something you are interested in, hit that like button down below and let's get started. Number 1, renting out your parking space. If you live in either a desired or busy location, there can actually be a huge demand for parking spaces in your area. Using myself as an example, the flat I used to live in was just a 4-minute walk away from a football stadium, so I was able to rent out my space for 2 hours during that game for around £20 for that 2-hour slot. What I have also seen in my city is people renting out their space for months and maybe even years at a time. This is something that is in really high demand in the city centres because some flats that you live in don't actually come with parking spaces, and some people do need their car still, and then you have people that commute into the city that just want a permanent space every time that they come there, and they don't want to have to pay daily for a parking ticket or maybe even risk not getting a space and becoming late for work. Now, where I live, I see prices around £250 to £300 every single month for a service like this, but if you were to live somewhere like London, you could probably charge a lot more for your space because the prices there are higher and probably the demand is too. And what is great about all of this is that you can use the power of the internet to be able to advertise your parking space by using a website like justpark.com or maybe even Park on My Drive, which I think was the original one almost over 10 years ago. I remember using that service to go to Wembley Stadium in London where I parked on someone's drive. I think I paid around £40 to £50 for that parking space. So you can use that, or maybe even if you want to skip the commissions that these sites will probably charge you, you could just go and advertise locally on Facebook. If you were like me and you had a property near a football stadium or somewhere that has an event on, you could probably join that group and maybe advertise your spot within that group on Facebook. Number 2, delivery driver. This was actually one of the first ever side hustles that I did over 9 years ago, but boy did it pay some good money. I worked around 4 evenings a week for about 4 or 5 hours a time, and on Fridays and Saturdays I would make anything between £100 to £150 when you included the standard wages that they would pay you, plus the best bit, the tips that you would get from the customers. And of course, all of this work was done in the evening, so I was able to go to my full-time job in the daytime and then be able to work that night shift on my side hustle, and I was able to save all of that money from my side hustle because my day job paid my bills for me. One thing I will have to say about doing this kind of side hustle is, of course, you do need a car to be able to do delivery driving, or maybe even a bicycle if you're doing it in a city centre. And one thing is, they probably won't be paying for your petrol or the wear and tear on your car. However, most establishments do offer you free food and free drink throughout the night, and for me, it was more than worth it. Number 3, dog sitter. Now, whilst this isn't a side hustle that I have personally done in the past, it's actually one that I'm going to have to use in the next month, where I'm going to be away for a couple of days from my dog, and what a fantastic idea it is. I am basically going to be paying £30 a day, which I actually think is really cheap, and that they could charge a lot more for this service, and all I am doing is dropping my dog off and they will just simply look after that dog for the day, or in 2 days in my case. And what a great way to earn a little bit of extra money on the side, especially if you love dogs. However, if you didn't want the dog coming into your house, another service that you could potentially offer on the side is dog walking, where you can just go ahead and walk people's dogs for them. There is still such a big market for this out there, and if you wanted to advertise dog sitting or dog walking or anything like that, once again, there will be websites on the internet where you can advertise your services. But personally for me, I found my person on a local ad board in my town centre. Maybe you could use social media once again, or if you were feeling really fancy and you really wanted to start some kind of business from this, you could set up your own website and stuff like that. Number 4, selling stock photos and stock videos. Now, this is something that I think is massively underrated and always gets overlooked by people, because basically you don't really need a master's degree in taking photos and taking videos. Me personally, all I did to learn how to kind of improve my quality with this YouTube channel was just just watching YouTube videos overnight, just tutorials on the camera and stuff like that. And that's exactly what you could do. Build up your skills and then sell your stock images and videos online. And you can do this on a numerous amount of websites, but a really well-known one to me is Shutterstock.com, where you basically upload your photos, you get them approved, and then every time someone pays to download your photo, you are going to get a commission each time. This is really good because number one, you are going to be earning a nice bit of side income as well. And the second thing is you only have to take that photo and edit it once, and the rest of that time is going to be passive income. Honestly guys, if you have any kind of creative flair about yourself and you have a camera on hand, I would seriously consider looking into this because there is so much room for stock photos, stock videos out there. I personally pay a service £300 a year just to get stock photos and B-roll for this YouTube channel, and I'm still finding times where I need a piece of content for something that I'm talking about and it is just not there. And there are so many different things. Well, at the end of the day, you can literally take a photo and do B-roll of anything. Now, I did mention Shutterstock as kind of the most popular one that I've personally come across, but there are actually so many different websites that you can go and check out, and they all offer different kind of pay structures depending on the services that they offer. Just to mention a few that I have here, you have of course Getty Images as a very famous website. You also have iStock, you've got Elephant Stock, Dreams Time, Pixabay. I've actually used Pixabay quite a lot. That is a royalty-free website, and I believe they do have paid photos on there as well, and the pay structure is a little bit different on that site. But go ahead and check out all of these different sites if this is something you are interested in, and work out what one would suit you best. Number 5, flipping sports cards and memorabilia. Now, if you wasn't already aware, this is something that I have personally been very invested in over the last 3 months, and in the last 3 months, I have managed to take a £800 investment into various different sports cards and flip them up to £2,000 in investment value. And all I am basically doing is doing my research into sports cards that I think the players that I'm buying are going to blow up. I'm holding on to them for the future, and over time my investments have gone up, and then I would potentially sell them in the future. Obviously, you are going to have to do a little bit of work up front to be able to start learning about this, but if you are passionate about sports, in my case it's very much soccer, football, whatever you want to call it depending on where you're from, but this is something I have a massive passion for, something I enjoy watching on the TV. So for me, when I found out that I can make a little bit of money from it on the side, it was an absolute no-brainer. So yeah, if you have a passion about sports and you have a passion about making money, this is the perfect side hustle for you. Number 6 is selling your services on Fiverr. Now, for most of you, you will know what Fiverr is, but if you didn't know, Fiverr is basically a marketplace where you can offer services to different people on the internet. A few of the common examples that you would see is logo creation, video editing, YouTube intros. I have personally used Fiverr to get all of the stuff from my YouTube channel in the past, but this video is all about unique side hustles, and I have seen some really good ones on there that you could do, and you can literally offer any kind of service on there. One of the great ones that I always see is funny kind of messages. If you've got a bit of a sense of humor, you could maybe offer to send a funny message to someone for a birthday or a special occasion, and these really do sell on there, guys. Just looking at a couple of the categories here, you've got video editing, which is of course the main popular one that you will find on Fiverr, but then you have something like short video ads. So someone may have a business and you may be able to create some kind of short animated ad for their business. You then have greeting cards and videos that you could potentially create for people. If you're really kind of into your art, you could do illustrations for people. You've then got cartoons and comics. People kind of turn people's pictures into different cartoons and comics, and there are actually apps out there that pretty much do this for you, so you don't even need to learn a skill for it. And then there's other things as well, like the birthday songs and funny videos. People even just tell jokes on there for a price as well. There's just so much you can potentially offer if you want to. And of course, just like all of the other resources that I have mentioned in this video, I will leave a link down below so you can go over and check out Fiverr. I'd really recommend just going over there and just seeing some of the things that people offer. You might have a laugh on the way. Number 7 is doing voiceovers. This is where you can basically provide a voiceover for a business or maybe even a YouTube channel. One thing that I see a lot is when you're listening to a podcast, there is always that voiceover intro at the start. They would have probably gone to a voiceover actor or a service and got this done and paid a lot of money for it. So yeah, if that is something that interests you, there are many different services and sites that you can sign up to where you can auction for different jobs. And obviously, if you were to get get that job, you are going to get paid and earn a nice little side income from it. The website I found best when doing my research on this was voice123.com, where I actually signed up and set myself up as a voice actor and stuff like this. And one quick tip actually, if you actually learn multiple languages or you know multiple languages, you will actually have more chance on actually getting gigs on a website like this, because there is going to be more demand for you in different areas. One thing I probably will say you need to be able to do this is investing into a microphone, but if you like the sound of this microphone that I'm using for these YouTube videos, what I will do is leave a link down to that in the description below. I personally don't like the sound of my voice, but I am actually going to give this a try in the future to see how I get on. So if you want to actually track that progress, let me know in the comments down below and I will make a video on it. But yeah, hope that gave you some alternative different side hustle ideas than the usual ones that you normally see on YouTube videos and stuff like that. If that did, make sure you do leave me a cheeky like down below, and apart from that, I shall catch you guys in the next one. Take care.